Thokozani bogogo nabomkhulu. It's Wednesday. It's my first live for 2022, and I'm tired. My eyes are puffy, but I'm so excited to do this today. Gogo Lerato, I'm Gogo Kandalembube, and Kimukhai. I'm at home. If y'all remember from one of my lives, this is my room. This is the room that I spent many years growing up. And it's so exciting. My mom is having her house painted. So, hodikobo everywhere. Hodilo everywhere. So I guess I came home at the right time. When things are happening. And in many ways, today's topic is relevant to my being at home. So I think my vision's a little bit puffy, but I'm going to try just to hold the phone up. Stand you know, as y'all can see. I've missed you guys so much as well. All right, let's read the Bible and then we'll go on to our topic today. Tukozani. Bitulanta la morale mahalang amen. Tsela ya bona e tla thella. E thelle jalo ka elififing. Ba tla kharametswa. Ba wele fifing leo. Hobane ke tla thewela kodua. Hodima bona. Ka selemo sa kotlo ho rialo morena. Okay, that is Jeremiah chapter 23 verses 12. And then I'm just going to, my eyes just took me to verse 23 and 4. So I'll read that as well. Morena ore, ke modimo ya teng hohle, ya teng hole le haufi. Na motho a ka ipata dikgotšheletsaneng, a ipata teng ya ba ha ke mmone, ho rialo morena. Na ha ke fumanwe lehodimong le lefatsheng, ho rialo morena. Amen. I am back. So nice to see you guys in 2022. Liwonor December, I was so busy. I had Mukete. It was fun. But today's scriptures are so relevant. More so Jeremiah chapter 23, verses 23 and 24. So let's pray. And then we're going to start with today's lesson. Okay. Ntatarna mahodimong bitso la le haletswe o tle moswa ha o thatwetse lefatsheng jalo ka etswa le hodimong o re fe ka jeno bobe bo re lekaneng ba tsatleleng o re tshwarele melato rona jalo ka o re tshwarela ba re sitelwang se re se molekong merulane ho ye mobe hobane muso kwa ha o le matla le khanya le khale jalo ka o sa feleng Jesu Kriste matla ohle wena khanya lefatshe wena re bulelang ditsela wena re etsetsang tsohle wena senatla sa le hodimong ra mema ona morena modimo ya matla ohle ke le bitsa kaofela bonkgono bontate moholo ba makubetse ba mjali ba bogatsi ba go tloa ke o bitsa wena ntate wa le hodimo ke o bitsa wena mme wa le watle ke le bitsa manyeloi ba bohle ba batlileng re kopaneng ka lentswe la morena modimo amen. So compliments to the new year. King, I forgot how exciting this is, and I wanted a topic that's going to be relevant for in line with New Year's resolutions. But also continuing on, you know, last year's teachings. So today I'm going to be speaking about connecting with your ancestors, connecting libadimo. All right. I know that a lot of lessons have been done on this, but I wanted to give the principles that I use to be able to connect libadimo. I wanted to sort of share with you guys principally how I got to do what I'm doing. I'm also going to say this in passing. I got a very big inspiration. Gogo Mkhulu over the weekend sent me a link to Gogo. Send me a link to Gogo. I think it's Lindy Cherise. And she used to be a traditional healer. And I suppose Idlozilake has sort of transferred her or moved her gift into a different way. However, you know, just looking at that blog, and I think I'm going to follow her. For some of y'all, do follow her. I know that she speaks a lot against traditional healing, but what I found was that in as much as she is against traditional healing, her faith in God, in the Bible, is ultimately what is driving her. And I found it so interesting that she has managed to sort of grow her following from her experiences, bad experiences, by the way, very bad experiences. She's not the only one. I've seen a few blogs from people who had gone Uyotwasa and they experienced horrific things to a point that they've decided to denounce Bungaka, right? I mean, we see this a lot. We see people going go the modern day churches and sort of giving their beads in the church. And I always thought that it was almost unfounded until I really saw this blog from this lady. I would like you guys, like I'm saying, to follow her, or maybe not even to follow, just have a look on her blog. I don't know, I'll try to find a link. And I hope she's not going to be offended that we are studying Bungaka from her point of view. And the point only is to make sure is for each and every one of us to understand what happens when we do not connect with Badimu Barona Khantle, and what happens when Badimu themselves move you into a gift that is more prophetic, or even back to the church. She's not the only person. I have a relative who apparently had twasad, and now she finds no resonance. So I thought that was a very interesting point of departure. Okay, so today's lesson, I'm going to begin it as I had begun many lessons. We must remember that we are the differentiation of God. When God decided, when the source, which we call God, which we do not know, chose to differentiate itself, it differentiated itself into each and every one of us. The source in itself, our creator, the source of life in itself, is not concerned with whether it is differentiated or it is seen in a particular way. And I want you guys to understand this, because this may be a blog, Yabungaka, but this is actually a blog on African spirituality. So our source did not find and does not still find or does not have the need to be validated in a particular way. Each and every one of us takes on the description of our own interpretation of the source. So this is one place that I always find that it is good to begin the topic. All right. I want to just throw something in there. Let's just park the source. So we are differentiations of the source. Together, we are the collective energy of the universe. There is no separation, although there is a perceived separation, so that there may be polarities. I've spoken about so that there may be perceived polarity, so that there may be men, women, light and dark, top and bottom. We need those polarities to be able to differentiate and to be able to experience and understand our world. Okay. So what does this have to do with connecting Libadim? I'm going to just park that Kotog. I heard a wise man very recently say that not everybody who is deceased gets to be an ancestor that comes back through their child. And I thought this was very interesting, because he was alluding to a reincarnation. And he was saying that one of the ways in which we, the spiritual, get to do spiritual work, it may actually be a reincarnation of our own lives. A reincarnation of our own lives, yes. But then how would that, what would that mean with regard to Badimo? And I've also explained another possibility that probably each of us coming to this world have requested the parents that we've got. We've requested the life that we have set out so that our purpose may be clear. So, in essence, because we are all the Spirit of God, it means that amadlozi that we have requested are actually a part of us. So it kind of made sense what this wise man said, that not all of us get to come back as ancestors. However, all of us can come back as ancestors as well. I know this is a bit of a mind boggle, right? All of us can come back as ancestors as well, because if we've got the one true spirit of the source, then it means that we can ask on any other element or any other differentiations of the source to become guides, to become ancestors, because then we would choose the families or our parents. So I think that is also a very good point of departure, that now if we can now be enlightened, also coming from past lives, then all we are doing in this world is remembering what we were doing. And all that Badimo are doing for us is reminding us what our life purpose is. That is the one view. Another view that I thought about this past week, Kibona, a white Sangoma. And I know I've got a friend of mine who's Indian. Look, why do we think that, let's say, Makua or even Indian people should not have a spiritual gift or would not be able to align with African spirituality? Then I thought to myself, hang on. In all the nations of this world, they have taken their version of spirituality and sort of spread their own good news to other countries, mainly Africa. And they have done this almost effortlessly. Yes, we do speak about, land being taken away. Thank you, Gogo. We do speak about land being taken away, but that land being taken away, we spoke about slavery, and that is now the other result. It was another agenda. However, from Islam to Christianity to Buddhism to so many, my favorite, Hindi, all the nations of this world have not become selfish with the wisdom of their ancients. And instead, it's so funny that we say it, that with the colonizer sort of said, let's leave maths and science out and actually push on our religion. So that being said, why then is African spirituality something that we do not want to sort of further, like the good news? Why to this day do we have Siporofeto or African spirituality that is still based or largely based on other religions? I suppose Badimo Barwana are giving us these other religions as sort of backdrops. Why? Because they want us to learn principles. African spirituality is a principle religion, or a study of principles. It is a combination of principles that are meant to further the individual. African spirituality is actually more towards awakening and consciousness, more than religion, more than indoctrination. So how then do we become conscious? How then do we become conscious? And I think it's also one of the reasons why African spirituality is not able to be written down, because there are so many variables of how your level of consciousness and how your level of connectivity will play out. Africans and amadlozi wetu, they understood that every choice in this universe has got its effect, and that the effect of the choice brings about its own version of reality. So for Africans, reality has never been a solid thing. What we call reality, according to our ancients and African spirituality, reality is always going to be, in the sense that it is always going to be something that our ancestors make us know that it is always subject to choice. So, gahle, if you look at it, even if, I mean, you guys could see my videos on Umlozi and Umdawe and that, these are all actually universal spirits. And being taught, we are taught these universal lessons from a universal spirit point of view. And that is why with time, you will begin to dream at a certain time. You will begin to dream at a certain time. And what the trigger for that dreaming is, it's so interesting that it is grief. Grief. Pain is how most of us begin the awakening process. It is like that, even with Jesus Christ. It was only through pain that he could be born again, or that he could resurrect. So Africans, our elders knew that it is through grief and it is through immense shock and having the type of life that you created in your mind become so severely altered that now the idea of reality is greatly warped, that you may understand that there is no reality. So that is, I think, the one thing that I'm seeing with spiritual people struggling. We struggle to understand that our spirituality, that is why it's in any form of being written, and it's got snapshots. It's like we are taking snapshots from different religions and belief systems, that rona we may find our truth. Because the problem with awakening is that to be awakened, you must live consciously, right? And to live consciously is something where your every thought, your every move, you are thinking about it and making a decision based on that. All right. So that is, again, principles of connecting Libadim. So let me mess with your minds a bit. If we are all the differentiations of God, then the Dozi that you are dreaming of, who are they? Some of them are Obatsebi. Some of them it's people that you know. And I know with Christianity, the issue is that the dead cannot speak, they know nothing, they have died. But what if the person that you are seeing in your sleep, what if the person that you are seeing in your sleep, ugogo umkhulu, is actually a figment of your memory? What if these people that you are seeing are your memory reminding itself of who you were? What if there is no Dlozi? What if Idlozi is you? What if Idlozi stays in the memory of your human existence? Because, let's say it like this. For me to be Elerato, I am part my mother, part my father. So, in truth, part 50% of my mother and 50% of my father, which would be their parents as well, and their parents as well, and their parents as well. What makes up the DNA Yalerato is the DNA of my parents and badimo ba bona. So suppose I would come back from being my great-great-grandmother. Would it really be very difficult for me to be able to take on the physical memory, considering that the genes are furthered? I believe that even our descendants will be able to know us purely by the memory. Because in this universe, you look at an apple tree, it will always create apples. And the apples will not stop being apples. And this is generations down the line. So the tree itself and the fruit, regardless of time, they remember the DNA which is within them. They remember the fruit, that this is our DNA. Everything else in nature remains the same way. Right? It's I don't know of any hybrid animals, right? The only thing is, does the animal become domesticated or not? And this is a habitat issue, right? And should it become domesticated, it will become smaller, because guess what? It doesn't need to be so big. And if that is the case, and with human beings, we are the evolution of amadlozi ethu, then connecting with them is actually as simple as speaking in the mirror. Connecting libadimo should be as simple as talking to yourself in the mirror. See, sometimes we think ukuthi amadlozi, they are interested in being called amadlozi. I mean, I know this. I know I've had a few readings where I tell people, your ancestors don't want you to call them badimo. They want you to call them your parents, or they want you to call them ingelos. Regardless of what they want to be called, perhaps it is your understanding of the life purpose that you have brought in this life that determines how badimo ba gago want to be called. Because maybe badimo are you. Genetically, yes. Spiritually or metaphysically, we could say you have reincarnated. Yes. So what are the principles of connecting libadimo? Okay. I want to make this easy. So setting up msamo, most people when you set up msamo, we can try to set up msamo the correct way. For the most of us, we didn't grow up in traditional backgrounds, so we don't really know. But the foundation of setting up msamo would be putting on a grass mat, mofats, and a white cloth. Some people, they get told the big 5 cloth mofats. So if you are unsure, go for the big 5 and or the white cloth and or the grass mat. Right. I have seen people ba'ala their traditional cloths, like your njeti and your lion cloths and that. But I would greatly say not to do that, because each cloth from badimo, barona, each cloth represents a particular personality or an aspect of your connection libadimo, or a connection to a particular type of spirit. Right. So that'll be the first. But how do you fundamentally connect libadimo? The way to fundamentally connect libadimo is to realize that all the stuff, the crap, the pain, the heartbreak that you have gone through was part of an evolutionary process for your life purpose. I see a lot of people struggling to connect libadimo because of the pain that they have been through, not realizing that badimo become sort of visible in your life after trauma, after pain. So the first place is to say, when you have gone through problems, when you have gone through heartbreak, lost your money, lost your everything, the first thing is to realize that in this universe, nobody remains the same. So you're losing whatever that you lost was only but a figment of your imagination. Because the system has taught us to create reality by what we see and what we can touch. So Badimu, to be able to unlearn you, to uneducate you, they need you to lose everything. Is it Badimu that make you lose everything? I don't think so. I think from a universal place, the universe knows your purpose. The universe knows what you have declared to yourself before you have arrived. So the universe will aid you. And the only way that the universe aids you is when you are making the wrong decisions, or even then, there are no such things as wrong decisions. When you are making decisions that go against your life purpose, then the universe makes sure that, because of cause and effect, it gives back to you the result of the choice that you've made. So in actual fact, when you say, Wuti, amadlozi have taken this away from me, amadlozi have taken my health, my well-being away from me, my money away from me. In actual fact, no. The statement should be, the universe has taken away the things that I thought were my reality. It's going to become so important, particularly for us, Baba Ling, spiritual, and we feel that we want to take on the spiritual work and share it with others and heal others, right? It is going to become important for you not to be bothered by what you see around you. It's going to become very important, as you go into Mlozi teachings, to be able to keep and cultivate the purpose and to be able to have a certain stillness within yourself, to say that it may look like this on the outside. However, I am working towards a greater purpose. So, Gogon Tabi, I saw a brilliant idea from Gogo Kaukelo. She's the one who did my pictures, my photo shoot, GP Art Studios. So I went to her place after the photo shoot. And Gogo Kaukelo has got Msamo Kontle. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. So informal, so easy. We tulela kontle, and she set up this beautiful altar kontle, right? So when I'm saying kontle, I mean there's no enclosed room. And what I thought was so beautiful is that obele maplanka, which is like the door. She has created a door for herself kontle. And before you enter, or before ufita mama planking out, you patla, she patlas and she asks to enter that space. So Msamo Kontle, look, this gogo inspired me. I was like, I must set up Msamo Kontle. We should set up Msamo Kontle, actually. So, okay, back to my topic, back to what I was saying. Now, you losing everything, you losing the money, the car, the whatever, was you losing the imagination of the identity that you were. Now, if you have come back from previous lives, then you know for a fact that what is Molefatsing is not going to bother you, because you came, you left, you did what you needed to do, Wazama, and you did what you could there. And then you came back again to continue. So you losing everything in this life should mean for Wena that is how you get to your journey of enlightenment. And that is how you get to your journey of connecting with Idlos. Okay. What else besides losing things affects how we connect Libadimu Barona? Okay, the purpose. Why do you want to connect Libadim Bahao? Is it so that you can get what you lost? Because for the most of us that connect the Libadim Barona almost symptomatically. So we feel like rakula. You know, I've had people ask me, were you sick before you became ngaka? And my answer is no. I was not physically sick. I was mentally ill, right? I was mentally misaligned. So why do badimu ba re rotloetsa gona no? Why gona no badimu ba re kgothaletsa to get a connection le bona, right? For simple reason. Can the assistance, can the connection to badimu awaken you, make you conscious enough that you are able to not need anything, and to be able to share the little that you thought you had with others. By the way, this is the Jesus and the bread story, the bread and the fish story. It is precisely that. Jesus understood that he did not need to work for that bread and fish. Therefore, it was easy for him to share it. Why? Because mo lefatsheng, we are not here to work for anything. In this life, you are not here to work. In this life, you are here to further the agenda of your soul purpose. And in this life, you are here to bring the differentiation of God and to make it clear for you to experience and to be able to share with others. So that is also one of the purposes why badimo ba batla gore now at the end of the day re phatle re twas re phatle, right? Yes, go bana le spiritual gift and the promise ya gore o tla profeta and see into other realms, or to connect and be in other realms of spirituality. That promise will always be there. Gogo, we are here to enjoy. You are here to enjoy. You are only here to enjoy. And to be able to enjoy Bokoko na Bomkulu is not to attach yourself to material things. And it's most certainly not to attach yourself to this world. Because you know that you have got this time and that utotsamaya, and possibly you will choose to come back. So if you choose to come back, whatever that was not perfect in your life, then. However, seeing that you can choose to fix things in another lifetime, why not now? Why not now? Badimu are saying to you, to me, to each of us, why not now? Why not now? I want to become a teacher. I want to help people. I want to teach. I want to do this. Why not now? And then that's where you say, because I don't have the money, because I don't have this, I don't have the intelligence, I don't have the this, I don't have the that. And then Badimu say to you, no, but you don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. I don't think we've really ever asked Jesu ene unaphila yang, because there's never been a story of Jesus begging on the street. But I'm sure there must have been a time when he needed people. There must have been. You cannot reach enlightenment when you are afraid to be at your rock bottom. Rock bottom is a necessity. So, connecting Libadimu is about why not now. Connecting Libadimu is not a fake it until you make it. But connecting Libadimu is to say, I don't know Jack. To know that regardless of how much you have read, regardless of how much education you've got, regardless of your looks, regardless of your status, to know that all of those things are like makeup. They will never make the true you, is the beginning of you becoming conscious. So, now, on top of that, they want for you to acknowledge and to connect with them, to say, I don't know Jack, I can save you. Which I think is something that we find very hard. We find it very difficult to say, I don't know. Which is why we get frustrated on our journeys, by the way. Because when the dream comes and you cannot interpret it, instead of saying, I do not know, the frustration becomes with, why don't I know? These are all things of the system. These are all things that tell us that to be spiritual and to be intelligent and to have a lot of information are the same things, and they're not. They're not. What we've learned through the system was to acquire information. Information that is useless. Information that is absolutely useless. I'm not saying we shouldn't study, but information when you do not know, or information when you cannot connect with yourself, with the inner you, information is useless. And I can tell you from personal experience. So I had 2 years when I was twice, and I was being led by Gogo Mamjali. She taught me everything about spirituality. All this now that you guys are hearing me say, it's things that I learned over 2 years ago. She taught me that. She taught me bungaka because I was fascinated with that. That's where my interest was. However, that information, I acquired it kana koyele because the gift was fully functional. However, the gift had not changed Lerato. The gift, Lerato, were not integrated. And it's so funny. Mamjali gave me this information, this wisdom, almost like saying, look at how beautiful the gift that I've given you is. And I did not even realize that she was asking me to dig deep and to change and to make this information applicable to me. So how did that translate itself? And I think this is how, for the majority yadingaga, for the majority of us, information likitso ya ditlhare, likitso ya who's the main dlozi, likitso ya gore how must I twasa. This information is there, right? Then you get to start to be able to see into people's lives. Okay, great. But because the information we are not able to apply it to ourselves, then we're not the conduit yabadimu, you remain rusted. And that same information that is flowing through you like current begins now on the outside. You remain rusted because you cannot become a free-flowing conduit. So you want to connect with your ancestors. So you don't know. You want to connect with your ancestors. Don't feel offended. Ka Jesu. Badimba ga go bana taba gore do you want to incorporate your beliefs in Jesu? They're not offended by that. Badimba ga go bana taba gore do you want to read up and research Buddhism? Badimba ga go abana taba. To them, blackness is a state of being. It's a state of consciousness. It's not the external religion. All right. So I know that's something that we struggle a lot with. Bungaka, hungaka, other people versus huingaka. Hungaka, and to connect with other people and to sort of take our gifts and make it great and be recognized versus hungaka, you, the inside. I don't know how I managed to become ngaka, to become a prophet. Kili is so greatly deficient as a person. For those who know me, who've met me, they'll tell you, I'm an incredibly nervous human being. Gwagwa Tabang said to me when she came to my house to Twasar, but you are not at all what I saw on Facebook. So Lerato is incredibly nervous. Lerato is almost nothing like what you would see Bungaka be. However, Lerato has chosen to say, I have chosen to myself to say, I am but a conduit. And the work that Badimo do is not for my glory. The work that Badimo do is none of my business even. So when I do readings, the request that I always make ko Badimong is, you do the work. I don't need to do the work. And bokoko na bomkhulu, that for me has made me who I am. In the Christian church, they call that the grace concept. Grace concept, that's what they call it. Where you have been given something that you do not deserve. However, with the concept of being given something that you do not deserve, you can also say, I will reach out to it, even though I may not be it right now. So like I was saying, it's not a fake it until you make it. It is a, can I help somebody else? Got my limited knowledge today. That is another thing that I'm seeing spiritual people struggle with. You've been going Koma Fetlo, you've been going to river cleansings, you've been going to this, you've been going to that. First time atla for a reading. They're like, what? But why not? Why not? Ndumba was, for our ancients, was a home. You know, our Gogo Kiani, Ndumba only Horabereka Dingak. Yes, she's got her Ndumba Berkan Koyon. But Ndumba for her was her home. Unasna until, you know, recently, like you guys saw. So that version of Ndumba for her is a home. And I always say to people, if I will Ndumba, or if you feel that there's a certain time where Ndumba, then at what point should you say Ndumba? Because at what point will you be able to say that you are gifted enough? At what point will you be able to say that? So, Gogo Hazelina, the point is this. Can you, with your limited experience, with your limited knowledge, make somebody's life easier? Whether it's through Khurapela or Khupahlisa Mutumung, or to be there for them, or to help them. Look, even if it's nothing big, even if it's just to open the door for an old lady, even if it's to take lunchbox. Can that be the foundation of our spirituality? Okay. So, okay, Gogo is also saying, okay, she's struggling to connect with her ancestors. Okay. First things, we always say it's ang patlang, right? Why do badimba batla gore o phatle like constantly, right? Naneke phatla a lot. Why ba batla gore o phatle? It's not for them, by the way, Gogo na bomkhulu. Upatha, because you are trying to cultivate the inner presence. In this world, looks don't mean a thing. Your presence is what takes you everywhere in this world. Your presence. And let me say this, presence is a thing, it is like, Nkulu Frankie once said this to me. Tau, when it walks, if you cannot tau in a stadium, people will run. Basa itse gore e jele, basa itse gore e latlhegile, it wants to sleep. Basa itse any of that. They're gonna run for their lives. That the lion has got its presence. And I believe that's what the lion cloth means. Presence. We can call it ndao, but it is presence. So Badimo, when they say phahla every day, if you can't afford horeka sniff, if you can't afford horeka kerese every day, phahla every day. Kase una ling sona. If una li bupi, phahla ka bupi. If una le mulora, by the way, mulora, lim komboti, lisnave, they work the same thing. If una le holy ash, phahla ka yona. Ha ona le molora, phahla ka ona. Ha ona le bupi, phahla ka ona. Because go phahla is actually to hear your subconscious mind. That's actually what it does. As uphahla, utobona with time, the subconscious, the things that used to bother you, the things that you used to think were important, you're going to start to work out. So now phahla mone badimo ke kopa eng, we itse kopa tšhelete, kopa mama ngwantshwenya, blah 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 blah. With time, you're going to, those things, you're going to just realize. You will even hear yourself as your presence, the inner you, the you that is meant to be here, the you that is bringing yourself to this life, to this moment of now, to this infinite moment that can change whatever your future, that God in you, the infinite now, the infinite God in you, the moment it learns khopatla, then it learns to say, I am what I am. So in actual fact, how patla, you are making a declaration of your consciousness, your actualization. You are actually starting to actualize yourself outside of the gift. So patla, ka whatever that you've got, right? Basic combination ya kuphatla, snaffy, metsi. That's it, right? If you'd like Huletan Pepo, can be great. Some of us, well, not some of us, most of us, spiritual people, Mpepo is actually to call on Itongo aspect of Badimo. Because now you must remember, Badimo ki batswadi ba gago. Badimo, I mean, you are differentiation, actually, of Badimo ba gago. So the first place also, our partner, is to see them as your parents. That's actually how they come. But by the time ulaita mpepo, ulaita incense stick, now you're starting to see Badimu as the infinite spirit. So sometimes, you don't need ulaita mpepo. You don't even need ulaita sniff. But if you can afford to, then do that. All right. Next way, the best way to connect with your ancestors. This one is going to be very difficult. Connect with your living parents. Guys, I cannot stress this. And our living parents are stress. Learn the hierarchy. Ya Badimu. Learn the hierarchy. Ya the things of this world. Even though you are an infinite spirit, you must remember that you've chosen your parents. And they have also chosen you. They have agreed that they will bring you to this world. So at no point is it going to be easy for you to connect Libadimu when you are having squabbles and you feel you cannot connect with them. It's funny. Now recently I was like, but my granny at all. And I was like, how am I going to do now? I'm going home, whatnot, and I've got readings, what am I going to do? And after going forward and backward, so I booked myself into an Airbnb. Ooh, that's another story. A beautiful one. When I got there, that lady, Ampona Kikinse Mapai, Lady Duke, and Sheba. And excuse me, I'd like to find out what religion you are. Because, well, I'm an African spiritualist. And next Rona, we are Pentecostal. So, I know, initially she was like, for your convenience and whatever, we don't want to disturb you. Maybe you should go. And I was like, hey, listen, now I will not be inconvenienced because I need a place to sleep, right? But I realized that I'm inconveniencing you. And just when this lady said this, it's like Badimu said to me, but unalile. Yes, your granny feels the way that this lady does. But your granny can't take you anyway. You are her problem. Unalile gai. Legai la gago will not be perfect, but unalile gai. So I took the refund. And then I booked myself into another Airbnb. Yo, it was a dodgy place. And in the 2 days, I was being shown why I need to be here. So in actual fact, the advice that I've always been giving to people, guess who's doing it now? And being at home, I realized that at no point did I get to kulumaka my grandmother's house. At no point did I serve her. And going back to my house. So how do I want to sort of redefine and understand my own gift if I cannot be in the space where I thought I was the most uncomfortable over the years? How can I grow when the place that I left over 15 years ago, going into marriage, feeling like it was a place that I never wanted to return to? How can I not come back to that place when I need to redefine my gift? So, bagolo, I can't tell you how important it is. Right? So to go back home, very important. If you can't live at home, it's okay. Go visit your parents. Another thing, connecting with your ancestors is to realize, like I'm saying, but this one I know it's going to come hard, especially for that needs to find work and money. That connect where you've got a need that you still feel makes you who you should be. Big mistake. So trying to connect Libadimu from a place of trying to, or from a place of lack, from a place of needing a job, husband, from a place of needing a situation, hangata you will not get a lot of results. Phahla with the idea ya gore a gona taba bo koko na bomkhulu. La o ka robala o jele papa ka metsi. You are alive, and it's not going to be the end of your world. And that mindset is the one that's going to connect you because now you will be showing them that you know that the true identity in you means that when you will never sleep for the rest of your life. Right? For the gogo who's asking how to open up stunya and self-sabotage. Stunya ki gratitude, gogo. And if you want Stunya to work, you better tell that Linyelo every day that I'm thankful for nothing. I'm thankful for the little that I've got. I'm thankful for this nothing. Stunya limlos kidi chomi. Okay, Tokozam Kulumo, a child out of wedlock. How do you connect with your paternal ancestors? Here's something very interesting. If you're out of wedlock and awabihiwa, or obviously awashaula, then normally maluma wa gago ke your father spiritually. And then tate mogolo, your mom's dad, is your highest lozi, right? So this is the name of the game. We always say Mdawe. Mdawe is like a foreign spirit. That's how we've defined Mdawe spirits. Mdawe spirits. We've defined them that way. Foreign spirits. So normally what happens is that your father's ancestors, when they've got a gift to give you, will become like a Ndao spirit. However, to connect with your father's ancestors, you need to connect first with your mother's ancestors. Because your mother's dead. I know dumela gore this ninja who came asa go hlaola, asa go godisa, atle ebe ye ne yanong o phahliwang. And Nkulu, believe it or not, your father's ancestors, they'll give you the gift when they need to. They'll give you the gift regardless. So if you want to go and connect with your father's ancestors, I would say always start ko ga bo mama gago. Go make bujwala if you need to. Go and do a Thanksgiving. Go and talk to your grandfather from your maternal side. And then I'll face I would like to know my father's people. Right? And then utsamaye uye ko ga bo papa gago. But even la o ya ko bo papa gago, ba ske ba go eletsa mosebetsi pele without you going back to your grandfather or your maternal ancestors. Ubige everything. Okay, it's very important. Sometimes utaya wilo begiwa to your father's people. Kanti utlo phema. All right, kanti utlo phema. How kena mole because these spirits don't know you. Then it becomes very difficult, and they must spearhead your life. And because your mother's ancestors to this point, when they see you go there, they feel like, okay, you're ungrateful, and then and then it's about to go down. So okay, let me just have a look at the time. It's 9 o'clock. Okay, dikera se tsa go rapela bukogona bomkhulu nna ke rata white. Okay, white, we know it's typically for stunya. Now I love white candles. I love to pray with white candles. Yellow candles for me, when I do readings, yellow, it's normally because it's for clarity. So that person's looking for clarity and is looking for visions in their own life. So this is normally a candle that represents needing emotional support with regards to getting yourself to a particular place. That's what I normally use. Yellow. Blue candles, badimbako meeting, Ndao spirits, prophetic Ndao spirits. Blue. Yeah. Red for normally when I do readings. Red is your more ancestral, your blood relatives. So I like that. Orange gogo, recently I've started lighting the orange candle and I like it. It's got a very nice vibe. I love the vibe. For me, orange candle means bungaka tupe. So if I light an orange candle for somebody, for a reading, because everybody reading can light their own candles. If you want orange, then for me it normally means bungaka tupe. But for me, I've lit orange candle normally with a combination of others, probably with blue and white. For to calm me and to bring me to a place where I'm like, okay, what is my gift about? Normally it's a combination of clarity and it's also a combination of asking for help. That's normally what I use it for. Purple, Kimandao Alitu. That's my understanding of it. It's a red mixture of red and blue. So it's both your ancestral spirits. And for na purple, like I'm saying, Hangata purple, I know it is for to get to the highest level of spirituality. But you guys must remember, purple leone, it could also symbolize mourning, right? Purple takes up a lot of energy. So purple, I feel, when you are well grounded on your spiritual journey, or you're trying to open up for a combination, then purple, go for it. But when you're more grounded, I feel purple, your deeper colors normally, now I lean towards those when I am at a spiritual high. When I'm feeling low emotionally and spiritually, whites and very soft colors for now. You can light a white candle alone. Green, I know people say it's for money, but for now, like I'm saying, kerase green normally speaks to a Zionist spirit. Remember now, I use candles to be able to connect with you guys, to be able to connect with readings. So green normally it's Zionist spirit, and I don't really use green candles. I don't use color candles and like for things. If I want money, I just light white candles. If I want better health, I just light white candles. Because my belief is that when you're an energist, and you guys will see this with time, when you are mlozi, when you are learning on your mlozi journey, then you realize that the emptiness of a color is also the fulfillment of that color. So I normally use white because I believe that the white candle energetically in the universe will convert itself to whichever color it needs to be. So that's what I use. Red, I know it's for protection. Yeah, red can give you a lot of comfort, actually. Red is a very comforting candle. Black, I know we don't like to use black candles. Yeah, I was very afraid of using black candles. But the black, for me, black is actually sort of ending. It's I normally use it for the cleansings. If I need like a fresh start, then I will do white candles on one end, praying about whatever the problem. And then when I face the black candle, that's when I'm saying the problem is finished. It is black for me. It is finished. Ke omega, ke conclusion, ke amen. So I use it. I seldom use it, but I do use it. So connecting le badimo ba rona, let's start to see them as bagolo. And let's start to see them as not demanding and wanting things from us. Badimu don't really want things from us. Badimu want us to trust them. Badimu want us to be grateful for everything we've got. And that is the gist of African spirituality. Do have a look at that lady's blog. Only to see what happens when sometimes we don't understand that Badimu can move you in whichever direction. Yeah. And it's also going to help you to understand Baba Kenam Fire Church. It's not our problem, right? It's not for us to tell them not to go. All right. When the time comes, when a certain type of consciousness comes, then they will convert to understanding things the way that we do. So yeah. For those you guys are trying to open up your spirituality and your families, people around you, understand. If you can understand that uka connect how anytime, anywhere, then they need to make somebody else understand what your gift is about. Sort of goes away. Right. So I'm all over the show today. I think it's because I didn't quite plan it. I'm going to be more prepared next week. I want a nice topic for next week. Something that we can do. If you feel to go. I feel this is okay. I'm just going to put it out there in the universe. I feel this is the year of a lot of emotional, personal reconstruction. I feel like this is the year for that. So I see a lot of people tabbing this year. If there's something that we can do, for ourselves towards our journeys, it is to go tabbing. I feel a lot of redefinition coming to us this year. I feel like this is the year to redefine ourselves. So if last year your plan was to start a business, this year I want you to focus on savings. I want you to focus on your vision. I want you to focus on your business proposal. I want you to focus on redefining you, because I feel like this is a redefining year. So a lot of things that are going to happen this year are going to come as surprises. I think we're going to be in for a lot of good and even nasty seeming surprises. But this is the year that I think that majority of us will be changed from within. So Thokozani Bokoko Nabomkulu, have a great night. Red. Red could be symbolic. Seeing it all over like that, body vaslapa and whatnot, could be symbolic of Kerke's period. I think I would need to sort of hear some of your dreams, and how they come about. Red blood, right? Instagram, I've got dream interpretations on Wednesday, on Thursday. Mariano these days, so I'm gonna try to make it for next week Thursday. But I will send like a message on Instagram, so you guys must come. And then this year, Easter weekend, we are definitely doing a spiritual seminar. I said I was going to do it at January, but I thought it was just too early. There was no time to prepare. So Easter weekend this year, we are definitely doing a seminar this year. I just want to finalize what it's going to be. But it's basically going to be like a day epiphany. So that's what I want it to be. It's going to be basic Twasa experience. And I want you guys to have this experience because the majority of you guys, like then you guys find out you're at the wrong place. And then when you leave, you don't know what you were supposed to keep from that experience. So I want that seminar to be, it's going to be like a 1 day thing, but I want it to be a day qualification. So yeah, but I just try to put that together and see you guys then. Have a great night. See you guys next Thursday. Instagram handle Kilerato Unplugged. Good night.